Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm Dr. Alan Snyder here with my girl, Boom Pow Exploder. It's Stephanie Didincona.
Oh, you're bringing back the ribbity rap.
I figured it would be good for a little bit.
It was good. But you know what? So you do the intro and you do it so well. And I'm afraid to do the intro because people are so used to it. And then when I was thinking about it earlier today, I was like, what would you do if it was an intro? No clue. And all I came up with was ba 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 ba.
Except Monday Night Football already has that, yeah.
Exactly. So
we'll work on it.
Well, just tell me what to say.
I enjoyed your, ladies and gentlemen, do we have a treat for you? That was really funny.
I forgot about that. I'm a dork.
That was good. What's up, podcast listeners? We're here back having another good time. We got some great stories planned for you today. We got some good beers. I love everybody out there giving us our feedback. Make sure you are following us on Instagram, Booze Your Daddy, YouTube, Booze Your Daddy, BOO'Y. We're going to get into it today. I have a doozy.
We are going to get into it, but first of all, I need you to tell everybody that you became famous this morning, and it was kind of a cool thing.
We tag the beer companies that we do, and
yes.
One of them reposted a picture of me holding their beer, which is, it was cute. It was fun. I'm into it. I don't care.
Listen, it's something. I thought that was very cute and adorable, and I appreciated it, and you're on your way. You're a shooting star. Never going to stop.
It was cute and adorable because it was a picture of yours truly.
Well, I mean, there's that too, I guess. If you want to look at it that way, fine. I look at it as, you're so handsome, they could not put it up. They were like, this guy's it. It's your star.
There it is. Stephanie, I have so much to say about my beer, but I saw your beer when we took our pictures. You win. Go ahead. Take the floor.
I do win, and I usually lose. But this one has so much going on, I don't know how to even explain it. It is Long Island City Beer Project. So, in my area. And it's called Businessman Pilsner. There's a guy with like an old-fashioned guy with a suit. There's some charch. A guy eating a TV dinner with a beer. A lot of guys with the finger guns. I don't really know why that's a thing.
Pew, 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 pew,
pew, pew. Mouse eating cheese. Guy pouring coffee while sitting on a table. So it's very colorful. No, none of it makes sense. That's why when I saw it, I was like, that's what it would look like if I made a beer can.
I was about to say, between the hand signals and cheese on it, I'm assuming you did it just for the cheese alone.
They probably listened to my nightmares and were like, hey, she's onto something.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a very, very classy can, and I'm very happy that you got to enjoy that.
Thank you for liking my can.
My beer today was given to me by one of our listeners, and I will let any single listener out there know if you want a shout out, if you want to bring a beer for us to feature on the show, you just got to tell me you got to bring one. And if you can bring somewhere fun, I'm always down to talk about it. So this beer was brought to me by one of my good friends, a loyal listener, Dr. Katarina Fishman, who goes to the West Coast and comes back safely. She went to Oregon and brought me back a Oregon brewed amber ale from a place called Caldera. Now, this can is really nothing.
Dera? D-E-R-A?
Caldera, like a...
Oh, I thought you said Caldera. Caldera.
No, it's Caldera, and I love it for many reasons. First, let's start with the obvious. There is a cauldron on the front.
Cauldron on the front. I love it already.
There's a cauldron there, which I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd, so immediately I'm like, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. So all in on that. Around the top, it says, go biking, go fishing, go skiing, which that's just the most Oregon thing ever.
I was going to say, that's just Oregon. It's like that, and that's so simple and pure because mine's guys looking passed out, sitting on the table. And that's what New York is.
That's certainly, that's what Long Island City is. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I do.
Here's where they messed up on this beer. They write the ingredients right on the side. So if I want to make this beer at home, I know the exact recipe. The ingredients to this Amber Ashland Oregon brewed ale says ingredients: mountain water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. How about that? They tell you how to make it at home.
Tell you how to make it, but just as an FYI, you can't take them all, put them in a pot, and just say beer. You can try.
I mean, why even write that on the can, honestly? What's the point?
I don't know. They're very, progressive. Maybe they are really like gluten-free. There's some people that don't eat barley because there's a barley protest.
First off, there's gluten in here. That's what the barley and hops are.
That's what I'm saying. There's some people that are gluten-free so they can see it and be like, that's got wheat in it. I can't drink it.
All beer has wheat in it unless described otherwise.
You know what? I don't make the beer. I don't make the rules, and neither do you.
But seriously, like, what did they think people are going to say? Is, let me check this and make sure there's no nicotine in this beer. That's what I really don't want to have.
That I don't want to have that either. Sounds horrible.
All right. Well, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Let's get these beers.
Oh, you slayed that one.
So that's a Jay-Z lyric. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that.
Obviously you did. You know way more music than me.
Of course.
Crack 'em.
L'chaim. Although, can I say another one of our loyal listeners, my Aunt Meg, we talked on Delicious. Oh, sorry. How's your beer?
Cheers.
Cheers. Sorry. I'm horrible. That's delicious.
I'm loving it.
So my aunt is a huge listener. And on Football Sunday, she texted me a picture and said, I think it was her with her fantasy football t-shirt and her beer, and she just wrote "Release the Kraken" to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's a true listener."
Why was that not on my Instagram?
I'll figure it. I'll put it up.
Speaking of fantasy football, we went through all of our names last week, and you kind of glossed over one of your names, and we made a said like, "Oh, we'll talk about that another time." Now,
yes.
I was there for it, so I want you to tell everybody, and I'll fill in the blanks of the origin of your fantasy football team name.
Man, you would be so much better at this story than I will, because you're gonna have to fill in a lot of blanks. So I'll explain it how I remember it. We're on what used to be our bi-yearly trip. We're in the Catskills, Poconos, somewhere that wasn't New York City.
Right. We went up to the Catskills, I remember, and it was supposed to be beautiful, and it wasn't. The weather was terrible.
Really shitty. It was horrible.
Right. And it was one of those places that had a television, and I was glued to it watching UFC.
Which is fun. Oh, what's the difference between UFC and MMA?
What's the difference between football and NFL?
Oh, okay. Got it.
Football is the sport, NFL is the league, MMA is the sport, UFC is one of the leagues. There are other leagues, though, but yeah.
Got it. So I know you enough that when I'm around you, usually there's some kind of UFC on some kind of device in the background. And I do not mind Blood and Guts, as you know. I've watched it with you before. And I don't think anybody else wanted to watch with you, but there was literally nothing else to do in the house. So I sat down and watched it with you. And two guys started UFCing each other.
Oh, they UFC'd the crap out of each other.
They UFC'd the crap out of each other. And I think it was literally a couple seconds into the fight when some guy got knocked out hard.
Except he didn't get knocked out. He got hit hard, and what we say in the biz is he was out on his feet. Because it wasn't a hit out unconscious. He got hit. Except you could see his brain, his eyes were open, but the rest of his body was not complying with what he wanted.
His brain definitely fell down to his butt. And he was 50% conscious and hobbling around. And all I remember saying is I was so excited, and I turned to you and I'm like, he looks like a baby giraffe. If you've seen a video of a newborn horse or a baby giraffe, whatever, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Their limbs are so long that they get out and they're wobbling everywhere. And since then, it's been an inside joke. It was kind of one of my favorite me and you stories. And I was one of the only ones to watch because there was a lot of blood and everybody else was like, nope. And I was like, bring it on. More blood, more better.
Yeah. It was so funny because it was on the undercard and I was just sitting there, and this guy who got hit and his brain just short-circuited, he looked like he had a pair of roller skates on and had never worn roller skates. I mean, the next day on SportsCenter, they actually highlighted him and counted him taking 14 steps, which looked like—
So it was an actual thing. Like, we weren't the only ones to notice that it was literally what a zombie would probably look like.
It was just like he was standing on ice and was just like, you know, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he was not okay and eventually fell over. The referee stopped him. I think that guy got cut from the promotion. But your timing of— it was like a baby giraffe out there. I was dying. It's still funny. And the fact that you name your fantasy football teams that, I think is beautiful. It's a really, really good name.
It's the kind of thing where, like, someone once asked me, like, what does that mean? I'm like, you don't need to know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's my business.
It's a boo thing, all right?
It's a boo thing. Get out of here. Oh, you know what the next boo thing is? We got to do spaghetti bag.
We can do spaghetti bag another time. Same trip.
Was that the same trip?
Same trip.
A lot of shit happens.
Yeah. Steph, I love that. And you're baby giraffe in my personal family's football team. You're a baby giraffe in my family's fantasy football league. And in that league is the only league that I'm the same name every year. My team name is In Fuego, which you asked me last week. What is In Fuego? What does it even mean? Like, where does it come
because
from?
we've been friends for so long and been playing fantasy football for so many years. And I never asked. I thought it was just kind of like a douchey thing, whatever. So I let it go. But now I'm going to need you to explain it in better detail.
So what happened my senior year of college, my fraternity, somebody organized a trip to Acapulco, and we had no less than 20 guys go on this trip. It was quite the coordinated effort. It was one of those trips where all-inclusive, go here, go there, whatever. So I was pumped. We go on this spring break trip, which starts off with we got taxis and we go to the airport, BWI, and we're sitting around and our flight is delayed and our flight is delayed and then our flight got canceled. And it's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And at this time, we had already invested on a taxi to the airport, and some people were like, all right, we'll just go back to college. I mean, it was about 20 minutes away, but I felt so pot committed. I was like, no, we started this trip, let's go. And on our flight was a sorority from Towson, which is not that far because it's kind of halfway.
Wait, can I ask you first how long you actually waited? Wait, the flight got canceled.
The flight got canceled. Let's say it was a Saturday. The flight is canceled. Come back tomorrow.
Oh, got it. Okay, so the next day when you flew out, you saw the sorority bunnies.
On Saturday, we start striking up a conversation with the sorority bunnies.
Got it.
Which then turned into, well, we're gonna go back to my one friend's house. It turned into a power hour with the sorority bunnies, which was a lot of fun. We all stayed at my buddy Jack's house. That was good. We then reconvene, go down to the airport the next day. Eventually, we do fly to Acapulco. When we got to Acapulco, oh, wait a minute. No, sorry. We got to the airport that next day, that Sunday. Oh, we're really sorry. The flight to Acapulco will actually leaving from Logan Airport, not BWI.
Wait, from Boston?
But we have a bus that will take you to Boston and you can fly from there. And it's like, not only am I hungover and tired and stressed, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So
how long is that bus ride?
6 hours? It was long.
Jesus Christ.
So we take the bus up. Some people got beers. Some people are having fun. I was really not in a good place, and I kind of sat at the front of the bus, and I think I had like a Walkman or something. I just was ignoring things, and some of the girls were on that bus. There was only like 8 of them. There really wasn't that many, and we're all just sitting there, and halfway into the trip, I see them take out you remember Cosmo Quizzes, the magazine where people—
Yes. And I failed everyone, never knew anything.
So there's no failing. There's just the quiz is if you pick A, then you're this. If you pick more,
yeah, but meaning like I always got the worst one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Always did.
So these girls are doing it, and I just lean over, and I have a sister, I have cousins, and they're like, well, can I do the quiz with you? And they're like, sure. So like, so if a guy says this to you on a first date, I was like, oh, B, I would definitely not give him another date type of thing. And well, it actually kind of worked because I now had a huge rapport with these girls. Meanwhile, the guys in the back finally turned to me. And again, it's not so PC right now, but I'll just say what they said is they were like, dude, you are a flamer. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, how gay are you that you're doing Cosmo quizzes with these girls saying what you would do to a guy on a date? And I was like, whatever, I'm having fun. It was a 6-hour bus ride.
Yes.
Guys talk to each other like this. Keep in mind, this was also 2005. I take no offense to it. Couldn't care less. So far, so good?
So far, so good. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of your friends, but so far, so good.
If you knew my friends, we make fun of each other. It's all love. We don't make fun of people we don't care about. It's fine. Now, we go down to Acapulco finally, and Stephanie, it was one of those weeks. Now, I was in a committed relationship, so I wasn't really getting into anything too terrible.
That doesn't say you didn't do anything.
I was the wingman of all wingmans that week when it came to my friends, because now I am totally in with these girls. And one of my friends like, hey, what's that girl's deal? I was like, oh, come here, I'll introduce you to her. And that turned into some confidence of, oh, let's do this. Anybody would point out, I was like, because if I have no vested interest, I'm just like, hey, let me go. I'll try. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Bing, bang, boom. My boys are getting it left and right. I am the Hooters of wingmen that week. I was on fire, Stephanie. It was the best week ever of being a guy. Furthermore,
I'm pretty sure they had the best week ever of being a guy, not you.
Stephanie, hooking up last hours, maybe less than that for some people. Being a wingman who doesn't miss, batting 1,000 as a wingman was a pretty...
1,000.
I was awesome that week. I'm telling you, it was great. We're in Mexico. When you're on fire, they would say you're in Fuego.
In Fuego.
I was in Fuego, not to mention the hotel we were staying at, which was terrible, had like 4 stations. One of them was, and we have HBO. And the movie playing on HBO was Denzel Washington's Man on Fire.
Yes.
And not to mention the last thing, I got really badly sunburned, which I guess is kind of a thing that happens to me. And at one point,
I've seen you really sunburned before. It's horrible.
I was so burned that the last couple days there, I would wear a shirt to the beach because I was like, I can't do any more sun. I am so hurting right now. So between those 4, the Cosmo quiz, the wingman, the Man on Fire, the rock lobster that was my skin, being in Mexico, my friends just started calling me in Fuego. And that was a great nickname that stuck around for about 6 days after that trip.
6 days is better than nothing, dude.
Didn't give it to myself.
Good.
I didn't give it to myself. I used it for a little bit. When I played online poker, that was one of my screen names. And then when we started doing fantasy sports, I used in Fuego for a lot. And you know what? It was fun. It was interesting. That's the story of In Fuego, why I'm in the Fantasy Football League.
That's great. I thought it was just going to be like, I have no idea. Like, I thought maybe you did really well at, like, fantasy football for a couple weeks, and you were like, I'm in Fuego, and you gave it to yourself. Because I was fully prepared to make fun of you today for it, but I'm not going to make fun of you because that's pretty good. I was never allowed to go on, like, a real spring break. I had to beg my parents to let me go to Daytona Beach. Beg them. And they let me, and good Lord, did they make a fucking mistake.
I did a Daytona.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake.
Yeah. End of that story, getting back from Acapulco, our flight, we got to the airport. The flight was delayed a day again, and we spent the night at an airport, and no jokes, it felt like a concentration camp. It really was. People laying on the floor because we just drank face for 4 or 5 days nonstop.
Yeah.
People are sprawled out everywhere. We get back. We are in Fuego as far as being mad at these people who ran this trip.
What airline was this?
It wasn't the airline. Basically, the company that was running this was charging us for 5 days and then giving us 4. And at the end of the trip, they're like, don't worry, we're going to give you a free trip next year, which I was graduating, and also afangul. I am not going on another trip with you bastards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the younger guys said, I'll go on that trip, that free trip. Why not? It turns out it was a free trip if you bring 3 people people along. They basically
Obviously.
they were screwing people, taking their money for an extra day, and then being like, what are you going to do about it? I mean, we were 20-year-old kids. We didn't know anything about anything. It was such a scam, and I have nothing good to say. I couldn't even tell you who the company was. I'm sure they're out of business. It was one of those like Fire Festival deals, you know?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, Fire. Oh, such good documentaries.
Yes. As when you said you had a good comeback, the best comeback that is ever about en Fuego, especially with fantasy football, is people say, more like Ace Frio, which always gets a laugh.
All right. I'll give it to you.
That was cute.
Give it to you.
So, Stephanie, before we go into trivia, because the trivia has a theme, have you heard about this new Netflix Cuties documentary controversy?
I've seen it a lot so I've gone to a lot of like podcast groups on Facebook, and I don't watch much TV, and everyone basically listening to this knows I don't watch it. And there were so many people posting about, I need a guest that will talk about Cuties with me. And I feel like
We are not talking about Cuties.
you just said Cuties.
I know, but when you said you want to talk about it, it's very controversial. So can I explain what it is before we go any further?
Sure. I mean, I guess.
So this has made it across my wavelengths earlier this week. I have talked to many people about it since, because I can be late to the party and I don't want to be that late. So the first thing I did was watch the trailer, which made me go, not interested. It is a French coming of the age comedy drama. That's how they're calling it. So you watch it on Netflix with dubbing. Do you know what it's about, Stephanie? It's about 11-year-old girls twerking.
Oh, they got in a lot of trouble because the poster was them twerking.
They got
right?
they got in a lot of trouble because the movie is straight child porn. It is. I didn't watch it. I will not watch it. It's called like Mignones or something like that. I can't even pronounce it. I don't care. I saw this and I was like, I'm not watching this. It does not look interesting. It's way too provocative for little kids to be doing this on screen.
Got it. So it was not just the poster of it or the whatever.
Correct.
The actual show is.
There's shots that are like upskirt type of stuff. There's some really weird people are calling this one of those like, oh, it's art, and the critics give it a huge rating and the fans are like, eat my D, I'm not watching this. It is. So anyway, that is the controversy of this, and I hope anybody who hears this now knows, because I was a little late to the party on this. But what this did for me was inspire me to say, I wonder how good Stephanie's French is. Because I know you've gone to France.
I have gone to France.
So what I did today for today's trivia is I have 5 French words that are pretty easy to get. And I'm curious how you're going to do. Let's just go through these one at a time and take a couple of seconds before you answer.
Okay, so I don't have to write anything down.
Nah, take a couple seconds.
All right.
But this is all inspired from this really weird documentary, which, again, I think they're using this like To Catch a Predator. This is going to be a Netflix show next year where they're going to...
Can I just tell you, they put up so many of those episodes of To Catch a Predator on YouTube, and I watch them constantly because it's just watching complete morons that are just like, you're asking for it, and I don't... There's numerous reasons I don't feel bad, but they're such morons, and they put them all on YouTube. Makes for very, very captivating 700-part documentary.
I don't understand how those people sign waivers to let their footage be released.
I don't think they have a choice because
of course they
they're
do. Of course they do.
Because they're in the process of a crime.
The same way, no. On Cops, they used to blur people out. I don't understand how those people ever let that happen. What I was going to say was, I'm pretty sure that in 2021 or 2022, there's going to be a Netflix documentary of the cops busting into people's houses of anybody who's watching this Mignones more than once. Because there's
are
really
these girls like just dancers? Is that what they are?
You've seen the girls on TikTok that you're like, you're too young to be doing that.
Yeah.
Times 10.
Oh, all right.
No nudity, but really, really weird. So
good.
Topical
right, so
trivia.
So France stuff.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Number 1. I'm going to spell it for you. O-U-I.
Oui.
Which means?
Hello. It's like Oui, oui. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Oui, oui. But sorry. Isn't it oui, oui?
It is just we, which means yes. Give yourself a
Okay.
point.
All right. Well, I should. I said the wrong thing.
Number 2. CAFE,
Cafe.
which means
Coffee?
I tried to make these for you, Stephanie. Correct answer is coffee.
There we go.
2 for 2.
Yes, coffee so far.
Number 3. 2 words.
Okay.
AVEC is the first word.
Avec moi.
I'm going to change it to the second word is going to be un peu. UNPEU. Avec peu.
You?
Anyway, avec moi means
With me.
voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Ce soir.
Good job, Steph. Question number 4. FROM.
Fromage.
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 Which means
Cheese.
your number 1 staple of your diet. That is correct.
Number 1. Not anymore, bro. Not anymore.
Oh, my B.
No, you're my B. That's why.
And last, I wanted to give you something a little harder, but if you think you can get it. MAISON.
Maison?
Maison is correct. What does it mean? Do you need a hint?
No, because I feel like it's like chef or a waiter.
Well, this could be our first 5 for 5, right?
Our first?
I mean, you did one where I got like 9 out of 10, but
Yeah. You did good in the mascots.
ready? Can I give you a hint?
Yeah.
So one of the restaurants in the area is called Maison Pickles. Or is it Maison Pickle? Whatever.
Mr.?
Which would it would be what?
Mr. Pickle?
No, that'd be like Monsieur.
Yeah, I know. That's so. Shit. What's that place? Wait. Oh, I thought you were talking about Jacob's Pickle for a second.
Well, Jacob's Pickle, and then there's Maison Pickle. What if I changed it? If I took out the I and just said like Mason? Think of like what do Masons do?
A builder, contractor, architect, mason, bricklayer, a bridge maker. Okay, give me the first letter. Bridge maker is very specific.
Starts with an H.
Handyman.
Correct answer is house.
House.
Maison is house, which should be like the international maison of pancakes type of thing.
Oh, I would love the international maison of pancakes. Yeah, I got that wrong. Why did I think it was like a waiter? Maybe I was thinking of like garçon.
Right. So I
also don't know what it means.
Garçon. So I'm pretty sure Maison Pickle means like house of pickles or something like that.
Wait, you actually have a restaurant by you called House of Pickles?
Yeah, it's a French dip Jacob's Pickles. It's okay. I've been. Like, it's fine.
It's no Jacob's Pickles?
Well, they have the buffalo mac and cheese like Jacob's Pickles does, but they also have these French dip sandwiches that are really big, and like, I'm just not a French dip guy. It's a steak sub with au jus. I mean, that's all it is.
Au jus. I know. And they don't even put cheese on it, which is what upsets me.
Right. I would prefer a cheesesteak with a jus versus a steak sub with au jus.
Au jus.
A jus.
I don't think au jus is like a thing. It's au jus means like with juice.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying a Jew. Like if you came with me, you'd have it with a Jew.
Oh my God, can we go to France together?
Oh my God, City of Lights.
City of Lights, love, cheese, super cheap wine.
I would even not shave my pits for that trip.
I will be shaving my pits because I'm single.
All right, Boo. Ready to wrap this up?
Let's ribbity wrap this up. I got 4 out of 5, so I'm basically French.
You
I
are.
mean, there's very, very little that shows that I'm not fluent in French.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Make sure you leave us a comment. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple. Daddy loves you. Boom, pow, exploda.
Also loves you. Don't forget Twitter because Alan is putting up some really, really good content lately.
Oh, I forgot about that. I thought that
Yeah,
was, yeah.
you've been putting up some good stuff. I got some stuff prepared.
All right,
Because I
why don't
did
we,
something today that I cannot wait to post.
all right, I'm going to send you the link. Why don't we, maybe next time, we'll read some of our tweets, yeah?
Yes, I'm excited because
Oh,
mine has to do with dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs. All right. Thanks for
All right,
listening. We out.
we out. Boo out.